Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take the sources you give us, dig in, and pull out the key insights you need. Fast, thorough.
And we know you, our learner, you want to get right to the heart of things. You like those aha moments, but, without feeling totally swamped.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
today, our mission is Richard Templar's The Rules of Management. We're looking for that practical, usable advice for anyone in a team or leading one.
Right. Using the excerpts you shared, we want to make this wisdom really stick, make it something you can use, like, tomorrow.
Okay. And the book's structured pretty clearly, isn't it? Managing your team, managing yourself. We'll hit both.
We will. And Templar starts with this idea that, well, management is part art, part science, but there are all these unwritten rules.
Things that might seem obvious, maybe.
Some, yeah. But he says the real trick is actually doing them consistently. That's the hard part.
Okay, let's get started then. Managing your team. Where does Templar begin?
Well, right off the bat, he challenges a core assumption. He says managers shouldn't really manage people.
Oh, what should they manage?
Processes. The idea is people can manage themselves, if you give them the chance and the right structure. The team is the tool to get things done strategically.
So less micromanaging, more empowering.
Exactly. You see it in the language shift he talks about. Teams that work use we and us, not just I and me. Shared responsibility. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Does your setup empower people or kind of hold them back?
Absolutely. If everyone's pulling different ways,
Hmm.
well, nothing gets done efficiently.
Yeah.
Okay, what about targets?
Targets. He's quite blunt about just stretching targets to impress your own boss.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
He argues, look, smart leaders probably see right through that anyway, but his advice on how to handle unrealistic targets from above is quite clever.
Okay, I'm interested. What's the move?
Don't just complain. Feed them back up. Ask clarifying questions like, okay, how exactly do you see us achieving this?
Put the onus back on them.
Sort of, but also present your own facts. Say, look, based on XYZ, this seems more realistic. Offer an alternative.
And the outcome.
It's neat. Either, they adjust the targets to something achievable, or if they insist on the impossible, you flagged it. You're covered to an extent.
That's smart. Constructive pushback. Okay, let's talk meetings, everyone's favorite topic.
Yeah. Templar actually breaks them down. 4 main purposes he sees.
But sure.
Team building, sharing info, brainstorming or making decisions, and gathering info to make decisions. The key thing, every meeting needs a clear objective, period.
Otherwise, you're just hoping something useful happens.
Pretty much. And he's got these practical tips, like starting exactly on time.
That's harder than it sounds.
Totally. He even suggests weird start times, like 3:0 p.m., just a psychological trick to make people pay attention.
I like that. What else?
Decide up front about minutes, action plans, make it concrete, and his view on any other business.
Let me guess. Get rid of it.
Yeah. If it's important, put it on the actual agenda. Don't tack it on.
Okay, I've also heard things like make the chairs uncomfortable or stand-up meetings. Does he mention those?
He does. The uncomfortable chairs, standing meetings. It's about using the environment to keep things focused, keep them moving.
Now, he also mentions making meetings fun. I'm slightly wary what that means in a corporate context.
Rightly so. And he's quick to shoot down the silly stuff. Formal dress codes, icebreaker games, blindfolds.
Yeah.
He actually lists these things to say don't do them.
Okay, good. So what does he mean by fun?
More like a relaxed atmosphere where people feel okay being themselves, can share a joke, within limits, maybe meeting somewhere different sometime.
So less stuffy, more human.
Exactly. It's about making it easier for people to actually contribute.
Which ties into spotting potential, right?
Yeah.
Finding those shoe fillers he talks about.
Yeah, those bright, keen people who are eager to learn and grow. He emphasizes really nurturing them.
He shares a story, doesn't he? About an assistant.
He does. Someone sharp who kind of followed his career path but never quite overtook him, maybe got stuck in a habit, he muses. It highlights the need to actively develop talent, not just spot it.
Which leads directly to the manager setting the standard.
Oh, absolutely. The flock of birds analogy. The leader sets the tone, the direction, your enthusiasm, how you analyze things, your fairness, encouragement. It all ripples through the team.
Walk the walk. It's classic advice for a reason.
And then there's the flip side. 0 tolerance. Clear boundaries.
That's a bit strict.
Maybe, but his example is timekeeping. If you let little things slide constantly, the line gets blurry, you're always renegotiating. Firm lines mean clarity. Everyone knows where they stand.
So it's about predictability, fairness, in a way.
Exactly. Which builds trust, ironically. Now this leads to a tougher topic, letting people go.
Ah, the pruning.
Yeah. He uses the orchestra analogy. One bad flute player ruins the sound. What do? Put up with it, try to fix it.
Or
Or
bend it. Remove the player.
it's direct. Sometimes, for the good of the whole team, you have to make that hard call about underperformers.
Not easy, but necessary for the overall music. Okay, so you've got your team, hopefully in tune. What's next?
Building trust, letting them get on with it. He uses a gardener analogy.
Plant the seeds, give some water, then step back.
Pretty much. Check in later, sure, but don't hover constantly. Give them the space to actually do the job. Autonomy.
And part of that trust is letting them make mistakes.
Definitely. He quotes a Chinese saying, "You learn by doing. Mistakes are inevitable, like kids spilling things," he says.
You don't yell, you just mop up.
Right. And maybe praise the effort they were making, see mistakes as learning opportunities, not failures to be punished.
That requires a certain mindset from the manager, though. Patience.
For sure. And related to that is valuing differences. A strong team isn't homogenous.
You don't want a team of just leaders or just followers.
Exactly. You need different skills, different perspectives. That diversity is actually what makes a team strong, adaptable, better at solving problems.
And valuing individuals also means encouragement, praise.
Yes. He calls praise a minimalist's dream. Costs nothing, works wonders, immediate impact.
He differentiates types of praise too, doesn't he?
Yeah, retroactive praising what they did well, and active or preemptive praise, praising in advance to make good performance more likely. Like, I know you'll handle this client meeting brilliantly.
Interesting. Why do some managers hold back on praise, do you think? He touches on that.
He suggests it might be their own lack of self-assurance. Maybe they worry it sounds fake or makes people complacent.
Could be. But the upside seems huge. Okay, finding the right people in the first place. Recruitment.
Templar stresses it's not just about skills on paper, it's about who fits the team, the culture.
The team fit argument.
Right. He warns about being seduced by amazing credentials, but ignoring how they'll actually work with others. Get a second opinion in interviews, he suggests.
And he's big on hiring raw talent too, isn't he?
Mm.
Potential over just experience.
Very much so. The Harry Potter anecdote rejected by so many publishers, it shows how easy it is to miss real potential if you only look at the past.
His point is, talent will likely succeed somewhere. Better if it's with you because you saw it.
Exactly. And ultimately, your team's success or lack thereof reflects on your hiring and development skills.
Which brings us to accountability. Taking the rap.
He's very clear. Team fails. Manager's fault. Team succeeds. Team's credit.
That takes guts, taking the blame.
It does, but he argues it builds massive loyalty, and actually good senior managers often respect that accountability.
And the flip side, giving credit.
Do it loudly, publicly, sincerely. He even gives phrasing tips like emphasizing the team's brilliance and how lucky you are to have them. It's a huge motivator.
Of course, none of this works if they don't have the tools, resources.
Crucial point. If you don't fight for the resources your team needs, you're basically telling them their work isn't important. It breeds resentment, kills motivation.
So advocate for your team and then celebrate.
Yes. He's really keen on finding excuses for daily small celebrations, not just giant parties for huge wins.
Like what? Donuts.
Yeah, donuts, extra frothy coffee, letting people take a break outside on a nice day, tiny things. And bigger stuff for milestones, obviously. Lunch out, maybe some time off.
And importantly, celebrate the effort. Right. Even if the result wasn't perfect.
Absolutely. It builds that resilience, that willingness to try again. It's about recognizing progress.
Okay, keeping track of things, records, seems a bit administrative.
But essential for consistency, he argues. Remembering past decisions, why you did things, who did what, avoids repeating mistakes or being inconsistent.
Makes sense. And you need to be sensitive to friction, early signs of trouble.
Yes. Be alert. Weird silences in meetings, vague complaints floating around, gossip, too much competition within the team, cliques forming.
People being excluded socially.
All those subtle signs. Nip it in the bud, he says. Don't let it fester into a major conflict.
And the overall atmosphere. What creates a good one?
He boils it down to 3 simple rules for the workplace. Politeness, friendliness, kindness, plus the basics. Respect, civilized behavior, dignity for everyone.
And it starts at the top.
Always. If the manager is cheerful, considerate, polite, helpful, that sets the tone. It's infectious, hopefully in a good way.
All these things add up to earning respect, presumably.
That's the goal. He lists the behaviors: rewarding, praising, being kind, trusting, inspiring, leading, motivating, growing people, genuinely caring.
And he suggests asking yourself honestly, am I really doing these things? Maybe get feedback.
Yeah. He tells a story about a rival manager who got results but was disliked and how that hurt the team's loyalty long term. Respect matters more than just hitting targets.
And showing trust is as important as having it.
Right. Don't hover, don't constantly check up. He compares it to having a computer that sometimes crashes. You accept it has limits. You don't stare at it suspiciously all day. Focus on the process.
Okay, what about ideas? Listening to the team.
Crucial. Don't assume you know everything. Listen to everyone, especially those on the front lines, the cutting edge, as he puts it. Ask good questions.
Even if you don't use every idea.
Exactly. Listen without prejudice. Make people feel heard, feel valued, that their input was considered.
And adapting your style, what does that mean?
Not changing your whole personality, but being sensitive to individuals. Does this person prefer praise in public or private? Tailor your approach. Get the best out of each person.
And here's a subtle one. Letting them think they know more than you sometimes.
Huh. Yeah, it's simple but effective. Asking, hey, you're the expert on this, what do you reckon? Makes them feel important, valued. And you might learn something.
Also, not always needing the last word.
Yeah, as the boss, you can have the last word, but you don't have to. He distinguishes between healthy disagreement, which is good, and actual insubordination, which needs handling differently, privately. Let the small stuff go.
Delegation. A classic management skill. What's his take?
Clear outcome. Tell them what you need achieved, but let them figure out the how. Don't do the task they're paid to do. Empower them.
And ensuring expectations are crystal clear, beyond just the job description.
Yes, cover everything. How they should interact, communication norms, the unwritten stuff too. And be consistent. What's not okay today shouldn't be okay tomorrow.
Positive reinforcement. We touched on praise, but he emphasizes this more broadly.
Yes, frequently, publicly acknowledge good work, verbal praise, written notes. It encourages more of the same and shows you're actually paying attention.
Okay, now what about those annoying company systems that just don't work well?
Don't try and sell them as brilliant. He says, acknowledge the flaws. Yeah, I know this system is clunky, but we have to use it for now. Honesty builds credibility. Don't be overly negative, but don't pretend it's perfect.
Be ready to say yes to new ideas.
Embrace them. From yourself, from the team. Try one new thing a week, he suggests. Start small, build up. Think of the cumulative effect over a year. Your enthusiasm is key.
And training people to bring solutions, not just problems.
Absolutely critical. Insist on it. Okay, that's the problem. What's your proposed solution? He mentions a manager who always made people present the solution first. Changes the whole dynamic.
Did you think about your own desk, doesn't it? Is it piled high with problems people have dumped on you?
Good point. Okay, efficiency. Be ruthless. With your time, yes. Use lists, calendars, delegate properly. Get the work done well, on time. But still, remember that work-life balance he mentions later, the go-home rule.
Enjoy work. Is that realistic?
He argues, yes. Take pleasure in doing a good job. Find the humor. Don't take it all so seriously while still keeping standards high, of course. Your attitude affects the team.
And finally, for the team section, don't let it get to you.
Yeah. Remember, it's just a job. Keep perspective. Think about your life outside work. Daydream about your holiday during a dull patch. It's okay. Helps you stay sane.
A very important reminder. Okay, let's shift gears. Managing yourself. Where do we start?
Consistency. It's foundational. People need to know what to expect from you. Predictability builds trust. Unpredictable bosses create anxiety.
He mentions that nonverbal cue again, the askance look.
Yeah, as an example of how even small, consistent signals convey meaning.
Okay, and setting realistic targets for yourself.
Just as important. Focus on your goals, your progress. Don't constantly compare yourself to others. Measure against your past self, your own plan. He tells a story about wanting a specific motorcycle, not just any fast bike. It's about your personal target.
Right, have a game plan, but keep it secret. Why?
Interesting one, isn't it? Have your short-term and long-term goals, absolutely, but broadcasting them can cause issues. People might assume you're leaving or angling for a promotion too fast. It can dampen enthusiasm or create unhelpful speculation.
So outwardly, just look dedicated to the current role.
Pretty much. Keep your cards close to your chest on your personal ambitions.
What about getting rid of rules? Not setting them, but ditching them.
Yeah, superfluous rules. Bureaucracy that doesn't add value. If it's within your power, cut it out. Streamline things. It shows you're practical and support the team.
And learning from your own mistakes.
Essential. Analyze what went wrong. Bad appraisal, lost sale, whatever. No beating yourself up. Just, what happened? Why? How do I stop it happening again? Management is constant learning.
But also,
Yeah.
unlearning.
Yes. What worked yesterday might not work tomorrow. Stay current. New tech, new methods, market changes. Be ready to ditch old habits, even in how you manage. Adaptability is key.
Okay, cut the crap, prioritize. Sounds direct.
It is. Focus on what actually impacts the bottom line, the core goals. He mentions a manager focused purely on shareholder value. Identify the fluff, the padding in your work, and eliminate it.
And networking, cultivating people in the know.
Important. Build relationships with key people, influencers. And don't forget, senior managers' assistants, they often know more than you think.
Manage your own time ruthlessly.
Absolutely. Be brutal with time wasters, including yourself procrastinating. Email black holes. Real work is about action, results. Ask, what's the return on investment for this activity?
Being lucky. Can you manage luck?
Templar suggests luck often follows hard work and competence. Being good at your job creates opportunities that look like luck from the outside. Thomas Jefferson, quote, territory.
Recognizing when you're stressed.
Vital. Stress kills productivity, creativity, health. Know your signs. Take time out to figure out the cause and find a solution. No job is worth ruining your health over.
Which leads directly to managing your health.
Yeah, he gives a whole list. Eat well, sleep, less worry, checkups, safe environment, screenings, good relationships, exercise, weight, moderation, and crucially, don't smoke. The basics, but fundamental.
Be prepared for pain and pleasure. Embrace change.
Change is constant. Smart managers roll with it. He uses the willow versus oak analogy. Be flexible, not rigid and breakable. Think about your own future. Will you get bored? Will you want change? Embrace it.
Keep your head up, not down. Stay optimistic.
Try to. Maintain that glass half full outlook. If you're feeling down, do something at holiday, training, new challenge. Management is tough, but look beyond the daily grind.
Look outward and upward, too, beyond your own team.
Yes. Know what's happening in your industry with competitors globally. Stay informed.
And just think. Make time for it.
Carve out dedicated time. Reflect, analyze, anticipate. Don't just react all day. Schedule thinking time.
Be decisive. Don't dither.
Take calculated risks. Use facts, advice, intuition. Make the call. Don't be paralyzed by fear of being wrong sometimes.
Adopt minimalism as a management style. What's that?
Focus on what truly matters. Avoid unnecessary complexity interventions. Keep it simple where possible. Less is often more.
Visualize your plaque. Think about legacy.
Yeah, long-term thinking. What do you want to be remembered for? It helps guide your daily actions.
Have principles and stick to them. Integrity.
Non-negotiable for long-term respect and success.
Follow your intuition. That gut feeling.
Listen to it. Deep down, you often know, but test it. Is it intuition or just fear? Talk it through. Review the plan. Learn from past intuitive hits and misses. Develop that radar.
Are you creative? How?
Immerse yourself in the work. Let solutions bubble up. Don't force it, but create the space for it.
Don't stagnate. What's the difference between manager and leader here?
Good managers manage. Good leaders inspire. Leaders embrace change, innovation. Avoid getting stuck in routines. Set aside time for radical thinking. Remember your long-term plan. Be open to new things.
Enjoy it or leave. Another blunt one from Bob.
Yeah. The core message, you choose to be here. So find a way to enjoy it or find something else. If a problem is truly unsolvable, learn to live with it or move on.
And related. Go home.
Yes. Same source, Bob. Work-life balance is crucial. Respect your team's time, respect your own. It builds loyalty, prevents burnout.
Learn from competitors. Isn't that risky?
Not necessarily copying, but studying. What are they doing well? What can you learn? He even suggests collaborating sometimes to grow the whole market.
Let the company see you're on its side.
Don't badmouth the company, especially to your team. Praise it sincerely when deserved. Sets a positive example. If you genuinely can't support the company, maybe it's time to leave. Treat it like a relationship.
And definitely don't badmouth your boss.
Right. If the boss is truly awful, leaving might be the answer. If you stay, commit to making it work. Build trust, maybe take on more responsibility eventually.
Or your team. Don't criticize them publicly.
Never. Mistakes happen. Focus on learning. Celebrate their wins loudly. Criticizing your team just makes you look bad.
Except that sometimes bosses will tell you to do things that are wrong.
Yeah, it happens. Not all bosses are competent. It's a reality of work.
But don't be afraid to push back. Constructively.
Exactly. Don't be a yes person.
Done.
If a directive is genuinely bad, challenge it. Frame it around risks, negative consequences. If we do this, the media might perceive it negatively.
Avoid straitjacket thinking. Stay open-minded.
Even when you're busy and tired, don't automatically say no to new ideas just because it feels like too much effort. Keep that innovative spark alive.
Act like the person you want to be. Practice makes perfect.
Kind of. Embody the behaviors and attitudes of the next level you aspire to. He tells a story about acting like a managing director, king, to get treated like one, but always treat everyone with respect, regardless of level.
If in doubt, ask questions. Simple but effective.
Buys you time, gets you information, might even get the other person to solve their own problem.
And don't be afraid to say nothing.
If you've got nothing valuable to add, don't just talk to fill the silence. Polite silence is fine.
Pushing back again? But this time for feedback.
Yes, if you're not getting enough feedback from your boss, actively seek it. Keep asking, how am I doing? What could I improve? Be persistent.
Don't play politics. Stay out of the games.
Strongly advises against it. Using people, manipulation, backstabbing. It's damaging. Align with people who get results ethically.
Don't criticize other managers or departments.
Same principle. Focus on collaboration, honesty, trust. Rise above the internal squabbles.
Share what you know. Mentor people.
Yes. Helps them grow, helps you delegate, prepares you for your own next step. It's a win-win.
Don't intimidate. It's weak leadership.
Totally counterproductive. Unnecessary. Respect works far better.
Be above interdepartmental warfare. Foster collaboration.
Focus on the bigger picture, shared goals. Don't get sucked into us versus them.
Show you'll fight to the death for your team. Fierce loyalty.
Your team needs to know you have their back. Defend them against unfairness. It builds immense trust, making them more accepting when you do have to make tough calls.
Aim for respect, not necessarily being liked.
Being liked is nice, but respect is essential for leadership. You'll sometimes have to make unpopular decisions if they're the right ones. That's okay.
Do one or two things well. Avoid the rest. Focus on strengths.
Know what you're good at. Focus there. Delegate or avoid things you're weak at. He admits his own strengths and weaknesses. Self-awareness is key.
Seek feedback on your own performance. Actively.
From everyone, peers, rivals, team, bosses, customers, get a 360-degree view. Don't just fish for compliments. Seek honest critique for improvement.
Maintain good relationships and friendships. Basic decency.
Treat people well. Good manners, respect. A positive, cheerful approach usually gets a better response.
Build respect with customers too. Both ways.
Absolutely. No condescending behavior, no dishonesty. It's a partnership. Provide value, show respect.
And go the extra mile for customers.
They're the reason the business exists. Exceeding expectations should be a core goal. Find ways to woo them, keep them loyal.
Be aware of responsibilities, ethical, environmental.
Your team's safety and well-being, minimizing harm to the environment. These are part of the manager's role. Have principles. Don't cause damage.
Be straight at all times. Speak the truth. Honesty.
Foundational. No lying, cheating. Be honest with bosses, even bad news. Honest with customers, maybe artistic truth-telling in marketing, but no outright lies. Management is a position of trust.
Don't cut corners. You'll get caught.
Eventually, yes. Compromising quality or ethics for quick wins rarely pays off. Legal trouble, reputation damage. Push back on pressure to cut corners by highlighting the risks.
Find the right sounding board. A confidant.
Crucial. Someone trusted, discreet, respected, maybe in another department. A peer you can bounce ideas off, get advice from. Ideally, it's reciprocal. Maybe you have more than one for different things, even someone outside the company.
Ye in command. Take charge. Lead.
Don't be afraid to lead strongly. Teams need direction. Like a ship's captain, provide vision, courage, decisiveness.
And finally, be a diplomat for the company.
Represent it positively, even with its flaws. Avoid internal politics. Handle complaints professionally. It also makes you reflect. Am I happy representing this company? Go the extra mile, but don't be a sycophant. Wow, we've covered a lot of ground there from Templar's rules. It's really quite comprehensive.
It really is. And you see the pattern, don't you? So many of these rules, they feel like common sense almost.
They do. But like we said at the start, the real value, the power, comes from actually consistently doing them in managing your team and, just as importantly, managing yourself.
Exactly. Templar calls it the end game, always trying to be one step ahead.
So maybe the final thought for you, the listener, is this. Which one rule, just one, stood out most to you today?
Yeah. Which one feels most relevant to where you are right now?
And could you maybe start consciously applying just that one rule this week, not to keep it secret, but just to practice it?
Because knowing the rules is one thing.
But living them, that seems to be the real key to success in management. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.